What is going on, everybody, on YouTube? Steve here, Raiken Profit. Welcome to another Green Room show. Today we have the Bonafide Hustler here. We got Green Room member Sang, and we are going to rock and roll. Title of the show is he sold $23,000 last month on Amazon FBA at 24 years old. So why don't we pass it over to Chris, introduce yourself, and then we'll do a short introduction for our guest.
All right, what's going on, guys? I am the Bonafide Hustler, and I'm one of the admins of the Green Room. I buy and flip and resell things I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores. I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. We have a wonderful guest today, Green Room member for 1 year, Sang. What's up, Sang?
Hello, my name is Sang Min, short for Sang, and you can call me Brian. That's my Starbucks name, my nickname. And
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to proceed with Brian. No, Sang's
Okay.
better. I like
Sang.
Sang is good.
Both works.
Sang, yeah, both will work. Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually had the privilege of meeting Sang in New Jersey. We had a little Green Room meetup with Jameson, Robert Benares, Jason Clark. There was a whole bunch of people there, and I got to meet Sang for the first time, and he was a super cool, down-to-earth guy, and he was there to learn and educate, and just a really cool guy. So as of late, he put a really cool post in the Green Room, and we had to bring him on. So it's nice to have you on the Green Room show. So
Thank you
it's
very
gonna be a
much.
fun show, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But Chris, man, let's dive into it. What do we got going on tonight?
Okay, so assuming that we sound okay, so feed, please tell us if we sound okay. There are many people in here. We have 114 people watching right now. Let's see if we can get this show to 200 likes. Let's start early. Let's start smashing that button. Let's go right into Sang in the first question of the outline, which is, what is your story, and how did you get started reselling? So let's back up and go. What's the story with starting reselling? When did that start for you? Like, how many years ago? Go ahead and tell them.
Reselling, it's only been about a year and a half. I haven't started reselling for a long time. So how it originally all began was that after I graduated college, I wanted to do something business related. So I started doing Kindle business, the business that Steve Raiken has a lot of info about.
Yep.
So after doing that for a long time and not turning out very great, I decided to look into other ventures to earn income. And then after a while researching, then I stumbled upon reselling, and eventually Amazon FBA, and then Green Room, and then one thing led to another, and here I am.
Wow. One thing led to another. Now he's on a show getting grilled by two admins. That's the pinnacle of life, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's when you know you made it.
Yeah. No, but welcome. Thanks for being on the show. Even before the show was live, guys, like we were just joking behind the scenes and everything. And I could just tell by the way this, and I haven't met Sang in real life like Raiken has, but I can just tell you got a good, like, you have a good mentality. You're happy all the time, and I see that with a lot of like successful people. They're happy. They're open to a lot of new experiences, and when something doesn't work, they're not afraid to say, "Hey, it just didn't work," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really cool that you would, with the Kindle thing, like it works for some people, it didn't work for some others. But you kept looking for other ways to make money, and you stumbled upon reselling, and into Amazon we go. So now let's talk about a blog and its purpose. You have a blog. And what's the purpose behind the blog? Sangminson.com, www.sangminson.com. Raiken, is that the first link down below, or can we make it that?
It's the second. It's the second link down below. Okay. Check that out. He's got some really good information on there.
Okay, so Sang, talk about your blog and its purpose.
So I started my blog just to document my process. Back in January, I think I hit around 15K or around that. And then gradually I started picking up real fast. And on January, I realized that it was right after Q4, so I expected a little bit of a boost of a sale. But then on February and March, I didn't expect such a high sale. So that's when I decided that I should really document my process in reselling or as a e-commerce seller. So just so that I have something to go back to and say to people that this is how I did it on later on, and actually tell them the process that I went through and the difficulties that actually led up to that point.
Okay. So when you said January, that's not this. Is it this past January or the January before?
This January. This January, I hit
Okay,
15K.
cool.
Yeah.
15K. Okay, good. That's good, man.
Okay.
So of course, naturally, people are going to be like, well, "What items are you kind of selling, and what's the strategy behind it?" Trust me, it's on the outline. We're going to get to it really, really soon. In fact, we're going to get to one of them right now. Hey, what types of items are you selling to get to 15K or even 20K, 23K a month? Like, what kind of items are in the arsenal? Sang's arsenal.
So the biggest item that I sell is shoes, and some are clothes and socks and things like that. According to my sales dashboard, it is shoes, and I do sell other things such as beauty products and books, CDs as well. But then if you look at the total revenue, it's shoes.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I don't see this question on the outline, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it ask it because I'm pretty sure some people are like already wondering. Define shoes. Like new shoes, yes, of course, right? And where are you getting these shoes from, mainly?
Outlet stores.
Okay, so you're doing the outlet thing.
Some Marshalls, but I don't like Marshalls because they don't list the name of the shoe that you bought. And if inauthentic claim comes into Amazon, then I can't prove that I bought the shoes from.
Oh, that's a good point. So if you buy it from Marshalls or a Ross or a TJ Maxx, that's just a store. But if you buy it from an outlet, you have an outlet receipt, right?
I've heard other people mentioning that if you take a photo and the receipt at the same time, it should be okay. But I haven't really done that. So.
Okay. So
hey, I'd like to jump in really quick if you don't mind. Hey, Chris, real quick, you might want to pull your mic back because I hear somebody breathing. It's coming in really loud. And I'm assuming it's probably either me or you.
I'm so excited to do this interview, dude. I keep huffing and puffing, dude.
But I wanted to say, because I just attended the ACE conference, and there were a lot of high level, six-figure sellers and beyond there. I noticed one of the biggest trends was a lot of the retail arbitrage people focusing heavily on shoes and the outlets. So for the people watching right now, if you have an outlet around you and you're familiar with shoes, definitely look into it. There's an opportunity there. Do you think that this shoe opportunity is going to last forever? Or do you think this is kind of like a short-term thing, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years? Because as you know, with all different products and platforms, there's seasons and there's cycles. Do you think that there's just an inefficiency in the market right now and things are going to catch up? Or what are your thoughts on that?
So basically from my experience, the reason why shoes are hot right now is because it's gated. New sellers can't get into the shoes, and therefore the competitions are much less. So I think that's one reason. And the other reason is because it has such a high price point, even though you invest a lot of money for the ROI that you're looking for, it's not much work because the total unit that you're processing is lower. So I don't think it's some kind of like hype or anything like that. A lot of people recognize that this trend, that something that I mentioned right now. So they are hopping onto shoes because you could do the same numbers while working less. So I think that's why.
But going back to Raiken's question, do you see it as an opportunity, let's say, that's lasting 6 months, a year? And I know you said that the barriers to entry, you're alluding to this, but that the barriers to entry are a little bit higher, right? Like you have to get ungated in certain things. And there's some questions in the feed saying, how did Sang get ungated? So why don't we kind of go to that question? How did you get ungated to do Reebok, Converse, Vans, Nike, all these other ones?
That's a good question.
I was grandfathered in.
All right, that's enough. That's it. Show's over.
Get him off the show.
That's why I love shoes. Yeah.
Okay, so you're grandfathered in. How the hell did that happen? Let's talk about that real quick.
So originally, when I started reselling, I started typical thrifting route, going to garage sales and selling them, turning them around, and then around last year, July or June-ish, I started looking into retail arbitrage, and they mentioned that clothes are good to sell online. Amazon. So I started going to Marshalls and then flipping stuff from Marshalls, both Nike, Adidas, Converse, Vans. Van is still ungated. So if you ungate shoes, you can sell Vans. But those stuff from Marshalls to Amazon. And then luckily, a month after that, or I believe 2 months after that, the gating happened, restrictions happened. And then I was grandfathered in. So
because you had sold some previous units, right? Dang.
So, yeah,
That's
I was
crazy.
lucky.
It's pretty good. I think I'm ungated in Reebok. I think Vans, yes. Maybe Converse, not 100% sure. Definitely not Nike.
And I want to say right now that this is why it's so important, everyone who's watching, if you're just getting started on Amazon, try to sell as many different products as you can. I know it's easy to say, but most people who had sold the item previously, like he was saying, got ungated or grandfathered in a sense. So try to sell as much as you can. The same thing happened to me, and I was never a big shoe seller. So I think I see this as a trend, over the next couple of years. More and more things are probably going to get gated off. So, the people who get in soon and sell things soon, they're going to have that advantage like Sang has right now. And it might seem unfair to people, but like I said, if you get in first, you get those benefits.
Also, new seller once mentioned, like, how should I approach like selling on Amazon now? And they actually, the advice that I gave them was to actually focus on what you have and not to focus on what you don't have, because they focus so much on what they don't have, such as shoes, Nike, Adidas, and the gated brands. They don't look at the ones that they have, and later down the road, those brands are going to get restricted and they get grandfathered in, and they have the unfair advantage that I have over them. So that's the advice that I would give them.
Okay. Now, let's say you don't have the advantage and you still want to do the shoe thing, or you want to capitalize on what seems to be a big trend right now. What is the gating process for a big company such as Nike, for example? What do you know?
Far as I know, you go through the process of ungating, which isn't that hard, difficult.
Right.
But then what you need is invoices, which you can get from wholesaler, but the letter from the manufacturer itself. So if we take example for Nike, you have to get a letter from Nike saying that you are authorized to resell the Nike products. That is the difficult part. I don't think anyone has gotten that other than the authorized reseller for Nike. So other than that, I don't think anyone has gotten approved for that.
Yeah, sounds tough. Well, let's continue on with the outline and let's see. Let's talk about the next question real quick, because I know it's tough and it's one of those, but we're talking about basically someone that's gone from, that saw an opportunity with Amazon. There's always going to be an opportunity with Amazon. That could be merch, it could be something like that. He's spotted opportunities and he's capitalizing on it. He's taking actions and he's doing certain things. Might be just blind luck that he decided to, sell some things from Marshalls, and it happened to be things that were gated off. And like Raiken said, one of the best pieces of advice is to maybe take a little bit of ROI and get into a couple items, whether they be small electronics or something, and take some of those smaller ROIs every quarter or every 6 months. So that way, if it does become gated, you might have an edge to be grandfathered in. So, so let's talk about the next question here. What tips do you have? So tips for the people in the audience, what kind of tips do you have for sourcing products consistently and to grow your inventory? So we talked about the outlet mall. Is that probably one of your biggest ones?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Like
is there anything else? What would be the second piece of the pie? If the outlet mall was the biggest piece of the pie, what would be the second biggest piece of the pie?
Like the places to source, you mean?
Yeah, like that you like.
I do like to go to Marshalls and TJ Maxx to get the beauty products. So when I got the advice to actually take a photo of the receipt and the item itself, that's where I'm doing the taking the picture of the item and the receipt. From what I know, Nike and Jordans are they are the ones that get
counterfeited
claims a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
So those ones, I typically rely heavily on the outlet malls, the Nike or Adidas or Converse, wherever the store itself. But then the other ones that does not get inauthentic claims too much, I go to Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Big Lots, the local stores that I have in my town, things like that.
Okay. Yeah, and the local stores in town, I mean, they can be mom and pop, they can be even local chains, but when they buy a big load of inventory and then maybe it doesn't sell at their store level, they don't get to really return it either. So they have got to mark things down, right? And you might have an opportunity in your town that no one else has. So, I've been to North Carolina and Charlotte, and there was one place on Franklin Boulevard or something like that. It was a big shoe store, and it had like everything from like Chacos all the way up to like Brahma boots and Rocky hunting boots. And there was a section that had like this massive amounts of markdowns, and I was like, holy crap. But then you connect the dots pretty quickly, and you're like, you know what? This is a really good opportunity if I lived here in Charlotte versus any other place in America, because like that's a big store that is nowhere else in the nation, and they've got just an awesome clearance rack. So I remember seeing that, but I couldn't really capitalize on too much. Let's go into the next question, which is, what are some of your biggest challenges currently with your particular business model that you're doing right now?
The biggest challenge initially was capital, because since I don't consider myself that young, but I'm quite young. So I don't have too much capital saved up to invest into my business. So initially, the money that I get from Amazon, I reinvested everything back into my Amazon business by taking a little bit for myself to basically live. And then, but then doing that didn't help me grow fast because it wasn't that much. And the work that I was doing was very little because I could only source a limited amount of inventories. So in order to get over that hurdle, I applied for both Amazon lending as well as payability, which the payability is daily payout service from third party, as well as Amazon lending.
I've heard about that.
Amazon lending is for, like, I guess, selected group of Amazon sellers. They give some lending to the seller itself so that they could buy more products. After that, I got over that hurdle of capital, and now the time is the problem, where I buy too much, and then in order to process it all by myself, it's too difficult.
Okay, yeah. So cash flow and time, definitely your biggest hurdles right now, right?
It is.
Okay.
Well, he said the cash flow. He's kind of over that hurdle, right?
Right. But I'm saying, but then you still did did the Amazon loan get you out of where you needed to be, or are you still in a cash flow kind of situation now?
I've applied for 3 months Amazon lending, and it wasn't that much. It was only a few. I don't want to say few thousand, but then it was only a few thousand. So right. Yeah. So it's not too much of a setback by lending, because I earn that much amount like easily per month. But then the biggest challenge is time. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, let me jump in real quick because I want to recap something that he mentioned, because I know there's probably a lot of people watching right now who are maybe struggling with cash flow and money issues. And he mentioned the Amazon lending, which is you're getting a loan from Amazon at a certain percentage, right? Just like any typical loan, and you just apply through it, or do they have to invite you?
They invite you first. You have to be authorized, approved. Yeah.
And then you mentioned a company, a third party called Payable, right?
Payability, yes.
Payability. So from my understanding, what that is they'll actually spot you the money in a sense, right? Based on, say you're supposed to get a payout of $10,000 in 2 weeks. They'll spot you the money plus a little bit of interest. Is that how it works, or percentage?
So it's like lending, where they take some percentage of what you earn. So basically how it works is that I have bank account set to their bank account. So if they see certain amount of sale going and then have certain amount of cash reserve within my account, let's say will be released 2 weeks later, they have that amount that are able to be released by me daily. So I could actually earn, let's say I earn like $2,000 or $1,500 one day. And then, like, originally I was supposed to wait 2 weeks before 2 weeks after to get that one day amount, $2,000 in whole big chunk, where I could get that like $2,000 today. I mean, next day, but they had to release it. Yeah.
Cool. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about, you have a blog post about talking about the power of compounding. Like, you know, let's talk about that real quick. And define compounding to other people out there in YouTube land.
So basically, if you have, so the power of compounding is with over time, if you have interest in certain capital, then over time it will be compounded over time. It will be big chunk of money when you actually end up in that particular phase in time.
Tony Robbins talks a lot about that. Over time, the interest builds up, and you know you can invest. Like Tony Robbins talks about, like start investing when you're young, because if you put like $10,000 or $20,000 aside, you know, 5-10% interest per year, it builds and it grows. It's like a snowball.
Yeah, the example is like if you do 10,000 you know, if you do $100 year, let's just say for example $100 year one at 10%, you have 110 at the end of the year. You leave that 110 in for year two, you get 10% on 110, which is now $121 or something like that. And then on year three, you're getting 10% on $131, and you can't, or 121, whatever it was. And that's how compounding works. There's more, it just compounds if you leave it in there. That's
better explanation.
Anyway, but that's what it is. Assuming you don't put any more money in. If you just put one lump sum in, for example, that's how it would work. And if you have really, if the market is really good sometimes and you have a very aggressive, let's say mutual fund, for example, then you can get some pretty crazy returns later. Like if you pull it out 20 years later when your kids are all mature and they got to go to college, I mean, you'd be surprised what $1,000 or $10,000 in an account would do. By the time it comes down to paying for kids' colleges and stuff. So, all right. So let's go into a couple of the audience questions real quick. So let's take a little bit of a break, go into some audience questions regarding what we were talking about, right? The shoes, the items, all the items that he was selling, some of these challenges being the Amazon loan, the time to hire or not hire people. Let me find a good question or two. Go ahead, Raiken.
Yeah, I saw one earlier. I'm going to ask while you're looking for some more questions. People were curious about the outlet malls and kind of like your strategy when you walk in there. So you walk into an outlet mall looking for shoes. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your mind? What's kind of like your process and how do you move about?
Okay, so within the outlet mall, first thing that I do is to see what kind of sales they have. And the number one thing that I would recommend other sellers, the new sellers, is to build a relationship with the store manager or the store employee, because if you build a relationship, they could actually give you the coupons or discounts that are not supposed to be stacked on top of each other. So on my outlet mall, they have sale where they give 20% off for one particular item, but then the store had 30% off. And then there were sale going on that particular brand where they gave 15% off, where you were not supposed to stack on top of each other. You were just to get one that's the biggest sale. But then because I had built a relationship with the store manager and the employee, they were able to give me all percentages off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
and also,
do you have a limit saying when you go to the Nike store, for example? Is it a 5 shoe limit? Then you got to exit, come back in the store, get another 5. Like, do you have a limit in your store, for example?
I'm supposed to have limits, but they let me go. Yeah.
Wow.
There's no rules when you have a relationship, right?
Yeah. Also, funny thing happened today where there were this new store manager that I didn't recognize, where he actually enforced that I should only purchase like 10 shoes today and then come back like tomorrow and then I'll be able to buy 10 more shoes. But then the store employees insisted me to buy all the shoes today and then they actually allow me to go through all the transactions, and then I was able to buy the whole big shoes.
Wow.
Today, yeah.
So there's a question from Hip Hop Hippie. How do you know what to set your shipping cost? You deal with FBA, so you don't deal with shipping costs. It's all subsidized through UPS. Flippin' for a Living says, it's a good question. Let's answer it real quick. But so there's 23K in sales a month. About how much was net profit to you? It was around 6, 8, 10, something like that. About 50%.
Yeah,
something like
there. Yeah.
Okay, so somewhere around there, about 50% got in your bank account.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good. That's pretty good money. Let's talk about the next question, which is how many stores do you try to source in a day? So people are trying to really poke around, like, all right, what's this guy's schedule? Like, what's he doing? How much time is he putting into this project to make 10K a month? And that's just one of the months. Of course, it varies. With Amazon, everything varies, right? But let's talk about how many stores in a day do you try to source?
It depends on how many items that I could fill in my car.
Really? So what kind of car do you have?
Jeep Patriot.
Okay, so that is not the biggest car, right?
No, not at all. So it feels real. Raiken commented on my green room picture. It fills up within one store. So
dude, you can't even see in the rear view, man. Like he had his
so dangerous.
It was like stacked all the way to the top, man. I'm like, officer, pull him over.
Wow.
So if I fill that amount, I mean, I live with my parents, and my room is all I get. So if I buy that amount and then put it in my room, it fills up. So if I go to another store, like if I bring it in, I have nowhere to put it but in my living room, which I'm not supposed to.
You're literally forced to ship. You have to ship items out, or else you can't. Like you just have to sleep outside.
Yeah, I do daily shipping.
And let me guess, you got the typical Asian parents that are like, no, you got to get that crap out of here, right?
Yeah.
No, it's all good. No, there's no slam against Asian parents or anything. Trust me, I got them, and that's how it is. They always want clean places and stuff. Anyway, let's go into about how many shoes is one trip? Is that 30 or 40, 50? What is it?
Today I bought 70 shoes.
Whoa!
And then
what's your average buy cost?
Wow.
The average buy cost is around $30. 20. No, lowest one was 17, and the highest one was around 50.
So you need capital. You definitely need. There's people that were watching, and they might only have $500. There's somebody who left a comment. What should I invest in if I only have $500? Would you recommend shoes to somebody who has a very tight budget? Why or why not?
Because unlike toys or beauty products, shoes don't sell as quick as they do. So obviously, since the invested capital is much higher, if one sells, it could mean that 3 beauty product or toy has been sold same amount of capital invested and return. But then that time is longer. So I would focus on like either thrifted items or books where the invested amount of capital is so small, but then the reward is huge.
Right. Yeah. So outside of shoes, where do you think you can replicate this thing? Again, let's say the shoe thing kind of dissipates. Everyone jumps in on it because we do a green room show on it right now. I'm just kidding. No, but everyone, like, people are finding out like FBA was cool for like 2 years and it's still good, but like it had its like what seemed to be its heyday. And then all these restrictions came and people went to eBay and they went to merch and all that kind of stuff. So suppose something happens to the shoe thing. What would you think you would do?
So I understand that RA business model isn't very efficient because it has so many
threats.
Threats where like if they close off one brand or all brands in like retail store, like popular brands, then I'm out of luck. So right now I'm looking into both wholesale and private label, where I'm not too comfortable with wholesale right now because limited space, as well as a lot of people are doing wholesale, it seems like. I'm not too sure on like exact number, but that's from what I look at. A lot of people are doing it. So I want to like take a route into where not a lot of people are doing
Stay
that
ahead of the
particular
curve.
wholesale. Yeah. So I'm looking into international wholesales. Yeah.
I would say a
Oh.
general amount of YouTube videos and stuff. I don't see wholesale mentioned hardly ever, honestly. But you are in the green room, and there's a little bit more wholesale stuff in there, quite honestly. So
most people, we've been in this game. Well, I've been in it for about 4 years, and just from my channel and watching the trends, most people are still stuck on the, a lot of the basic, entry level stuff. Which there's nothing against it. That's what I do. But I see a lot of the top sellers, and from conferences I go to, and people I network with that are, 6-figure, 7-figure. They're transitioning over to wholesale and private label just because it's a big liability with the business model. I mean, you're taking advantage. I think it's smart, like you're taking advantage of it, but it sounds like there's a part of you that's probably a little nervous. Like, what if I get a counterfeit claim? And like, because I've heard of people who they show Amazon the receipt for the shoe and everything, and they're just like, we don't care. We want to see the invoice. And I think that's what a lot of people like with wholesale, because you're getting that direct invoice,
Yeah. So there's a question. Someone is like, there's a funny question here from Alston. He says, "Can I ask a quick question?"
Yes.
That's it. Yes, you can, Alston. So put a question in there. Go for it.
No questions allowed.
You got to look out for Alston's comment, Raiken, because that's the funniest question of all time. Can I ask a question? Okay. Yes, you can. Go for it, man.
That was a question, though.
It is a question, but he gets another question, dude. Come on now.
He didn't ask 2 questions.
Bro, this is not the most favorable way to
right. I'm going to take a cold shower.
Man. Yeah, go take a cold shower, man. Okay, here we go. So phase 2 of the outline. We got phases in your outline, Raiken. I like this.
You like that? You like the words I chose for that? like it's a business plan or something.
Jeez. Okay, but let's talk about what's your why. All right. So what is the burning desire inside you that is motivating you to scale your business?
Okay. I'm the type of person who actually ponders on this type of questions. So the why in my business is, first of all, in order for me to be happy. That's the first reason. And the second reason is not to have regrets when I look back. So right now, I believe that if I don't work hard and not take this opportunity that just presented itself, I am going to regret. So I don't know if Steve remembers it or not, but originally my plan was to become a dentist, actually. I wanted to actually go to dental school this September, but then because I saw the opportunity being so great that I paused on that for a while until I actually try hard. And then if everything fails, even Amazon, the other e-commerce platform after that, then I'll just go back to dentistry. That's my plan B. And yeah, that's my why, not having regrets and being happy.
How's your family looking at that? Because I know there's a lot of people who struggle with that. I mean, I don't know if you know about me, but I was supposed to go into the medical field as well. I was going to school to be a radiology technician, and I got accepted into the program. And my grandparents, they were still alive at the time, and my parents were so excited and proud of me. And I told them I'm not going to do it. And shortly after I got into reselling, they were disappointed, and it was tough. Like, it was an internal conflict, right? Because we always want to make our parents happy and proud of us. I mean, how are you dealing with that, if you don't mind me asking?
Initially, like when I started doing Kindle business, they didn't like it. Yeah. But then because they saw how hard I worked, and then I had the talk of where I mentioned my vision with my parents and how I want to not regret when I look back, and I want to be happy doing the things that I love, they actually opened up, and yeah, they didn't mind.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
A lot of some dentists, okay, there's a comment in there saying dentists have a high rate of, well, you know what, so you can figure out that part. But then Brian Bowen says, Amazon or no Amazon, people will always need dentists. It's pretty interesting. But guess what? Amazon or no Amazon, people also need shoes. Ha ha ha. See? You don't see any dentists walking around with no shoes on, and if you do, I would not get your teeth done there. let's talk about what's your plan for scaling your business. I'm so glad we're in phase 2 of Raiken's amazing outline here.
We transitioned real
dude,
nice
I'm taking
into
this.
phase
This
2.
is the better phase right here, dude. I
Wait
like
till
this
phase 3 though, man. People are gonna get their socks knocked
dude,
off.
this phase is the best. No, this is a good phase. It really is. It's just you used phase. I like that's the part. That's so funny.
What would you choose for a word?
Phase is, I don't know, like maybe segment or I don't know. It's just phase is such a funny word. I think
so
it's just
serious
funny.
about
Yeah.
it.
It's like, man, we're like phasing to something else now. We're different. Okay, so let's talk about what's your plan for scaling your business. Three things that you are doing right now, like actively right now, to scale this business to where you can get it bigger and better, and maybe make 30, 50 in 1 month.
Okay. Right now, I'm on the path of hitting 30K per month, and then my original plan was to hit 33K, but I don't think I'll be hitting that. But I'm positive that I'll be hitting 31K or 30K. The things that I'm doing currently right now to scale faster is to actually one is to apply for business credit card. Right now, I'm only doing the payability, Amazon lending, and everything else is cash. So the business credit card is one. The second one is, like I mentioned, private labeling and the wholesale. And the third one is possibly leasing an office on either June or July.
I mean, you're going crazy, dude.
That's exciting.
I know. So let's go back to the business credit card and all that kind of stuff. You don't get to have a business credit card without showing up with like your articles of formation, your LLC stuff, correct? Am I right about this saying?
Yep.
So you had to go to the bank with your LLC, which is your reselling business, I assume, right?
Yes.
And at that point, they take you seriously and they open you an account, and then you go, okay, do you want business credit, which leads to business loans and all this amazing stuff. So I assume all your stuff's on one card or one account, right?
Yes.
So at the end of tax season, like, you're not going to have a headache.
So much easier, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So for all the people out there that are, thinking about scaling your business, one of the easiest ways to scale your business, or if you're to prepare for scaling your business, is to, open up your bank accounts. I mean, open up a different LLC, however you want to do it. Go to the bank, make sure your articles and all this stuff are with you. It's a certain thing you have to bring that your state issues to you, sales tax permit number, all that stuff. Has to go with you to the bank. They open an account for you. I just opened up another business today. I'm not going to go into that, but essentially that's the reason why I'm saying it now, because it's fresh in my head, and I just signed off on it this morning. But yeah, it's one of those things I'm doing way early, right? Like, I don't have any sales or anything in this new business, but I'm doing it early because I know it's better, because the headache can come later if you're not prepared, or if you're prepared, there'll be no headache later, right? So let's talk about courses and how are you learning? Like, how'd you learn so fast, and are you taking courses? Maybe talk about your mentors, people you watch on YouTube. Do you like the green room? I'm just kidding. Let's talk about that real quick. So are you taking any courses? How is your learning? Mentors, YouTube, maybe the green room. Go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, so the biggest thing, like, really, is joining the green room, like, number one, because, like, we joked before the live call earlier, but I lurk in green room a whole lot. I didn't.
What does lurk mean, Sang? Tell people out there.
Like, not commenting, not posting any posts, just like
It's
sneaking like information here and there. But then it really helped tremendously. And then, like, some podcast, Amazon FBA podcast, the Steven Peterson one, the e-commerce momentum. And then
I think episode 96 is the best one he ever did. Did you know that? That's the one where I was on. Anyway,
I like number 5 or 6, which one I was on.
No, Steven Peterson, Raiken was just hanging out with him the other day, saying you probably met him then if you were at the conference, right? Did you meet Steven Peterson?
I didn't go to AC conference.
Oh, you didn't go?
Such an awesome guy.
Yeah, Steven Peterson's awesome. I met him in Vegas. So you do the Steven Peterson FBA thing. Any other FBA podcasts or YouTube channels that you watch or anything like that? I
watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk one. I like him.
Oh, Gary Vaynerchuk's the best. Like, anybody that downplays Gary Vaynerchuk and that he's, oh my gosh, like, this guy's amazing. So anyway, anyone else?
I read a lot of books. Yeah, I actually, with the outline, I picked out 3 books that helped me the most. These 3 books.
Let's see these things.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, E-Myth. That's on my shelf.
The
Drucker.
Peter Drucker ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
those ones I like the most.
Wait, hold out the last two real quick. I want to say those last two again. So we have both Drucker books. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Okay. So that's good. I think you can get that stuff on audio, right, Raiken? The Drucker stuff? All of Drucker stuff is on audio now, right?
Yeah, most of the popular books like that you'll find on Audible. So
Yep.
Okay, so that's good. So you lurk in the green room. That's good. YouTube channels that you like to YouTube channels that you love to like watch. Let's talk about that. I mean, you read. You're doing the FBA podcast stuff. Assuming maybe when you're driving, or maybe when you're shipping. What happened? I mean, YouTube is right on your phone. Like, who do you watch on YouTube?
Originally, I mainly watched you guys, Bonafide Hustler and Raiken Profits, when I was doing drifting.
Yeah.
Now, not so much because the information is very different from RA to drifting. Other than that, I still watch Gary Vaynerchuk's video. Like, it's just so true how relevant his informations are. So I just try to consume as much information that he posts.
So are you watching anyone in the resell community specifically? Like, are there YouTube channels that are really tailored towards retail arbitrage, or was it mostly just lurking in the green room and
this is saying right here over the bushes right here.
just kind of. Well, let's all do that.
This is saying in the bushes right here.
You should take a picture and post it in the green room, man. Just like. Anyways, so what was it mostly just like hands-on? Like you saw some information in the green room and just applied it, or maybe you read an article or a podcast and you just tried it?
The biggest in terms of green room, when I read something that I was fascinated in, I tried it the next day. Like for example, Tim posted something about Dymo printer and then how he uses certain one. But then Robert Banyares,
I think it's Banyares.
Yeah. Suggested different one. So I just bought it the next day on the same day that I saw the post. Things like that. Also from podcasts, that's where I got all the retail arbitrage things. And then also trying things on my own, actually scanning the whole aisle rather than just sales items. Actually allowed me to learn pretty quick.
Okay. Some questions are coming in through the feed for regarding the shoes and everything. Aaron Atkins asks, what's the average profit you make from a pair of shoes? Is it like 20, 30% ROI more? What do you think?
I did, when I posted that post on Green Room, someone asked me, and then I posted 130%. And then I actually did the calculation. It was 118%.
118. So you buy
Holy
something for 30.
mackerel.
And you're selling it for somewhere around 32, 34. I mean, like 62 or something like that. Right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Average price is around 48.
So 48, but then it depends on all the shoes in a given month. What do you? The average is taken. Say that again. So your average shoe selling price is 48. You said?
No, the average sale price for the whole. So the average price, it's listed on monthly on Amazon. Right. So that is around 48. It fluctuates up and down,
right?
Like, depending on like what item sold on that particular month. But then average is around 48.
Wow,
that's respectable. I mean,
wow.
What would you say your average ROI is, Chris? Typically on like thrifted items and stuff. That varies. Like that's a huge swing, but like. Other ways of retail arbitrage is like typically 20 to 30%. Shoes like over 100, like that's crazy. 50 to 100%, like that's crazy.
It's not shoes specifically, but the reason why is because I've built up, like I mentioned, because I've built up relationship and I was able to coupon stack.
Yeah, because when you coupon stack, it all goes in your pocket immediately. Yeah. Like it's not even, it's before it even goes to market. He's literally like lining his pockets before it even goes to market.
That's a huge differentiator.
So that, like he has almost no risk.
He's actually done something. He's found his own little advantage point, and that's the relationship building, because people are coming in, right, and they're not seeing those margins maybe in their passing, right? But you've got that pre-built relationship and you're coupon stacking. Any other tips for getting for saving so someone could actually make something that's not very profitable into something that's extremely profitable? I know you mentioned relationship building. You do coupons and stuff. Any tips for that?
I don't do coupons. Like, the reason why I think relationship is very important, because like, I'll take today as an example. When I went into the store, I said hello to the cashier that I knew. And then after I did all the shopping, and then while I was checking out, she mentioned to me, oh, did you know we have new discount that we have going on for this particular brand? I don't think you realize it. Can I add it on to already discounted price? I said, of course. Thank you so much. So yeah, so things like that. But other than that, like outlet malls, you don't have like coupons sent to you like on a weekly basis, like do on like Big Lots, I guess grocery stores do. Those ones I don't do too much on grocery. So other than that, I don't do coupon collecting.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. That's interesting how you stack coupons. It's a really interesting story how the lady wants to make sure it's okay for you to get it at a lower cost. like it's like super funny. Like, do you mind? Like, oh, you insist. Okay.
Of course.
Of course. Okay, so how do you reduce your risk and liability? Because you're dealing with a lot of stuff in RA, obviously. Like, this is basically RA through outlet malls to Amazon FBA. So when you're reducing your risk and liability, you're doing it because, I mean, you're doing it through the receipts. You're getting it straight from the the outlet stores. So, you know, you go to Nike, you're hustling Nike, you're getting Nike receipts. That's amazing, right? That if it ever comes down to any kind of claim, you're going to present the receipt, and you'll probably get unlocked pretty quickly, right? Back into business. Are you considering expanding into any other models of making money besides private label and wholesale to reduce your risk and liability overall?
My goal is to actually, in the end, not right now, but in the end, to master all e-commerce platform. So I want to do that to reduce my danger, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. What about things like merch? A little bit more. I mean, you could literally run a merch business out of a coffee shop and a laptop. Like, what about something like that, for example?
I considered it like, I consider it as similar to Kindle. If I were to do merch, then I would be outsourcing all the designs. And I had such a bad experience with Kindle that I don't want to outsource everything to virtual assistant. I want to actually be a part of like producing shirts for the industry.
There's so many parallels. Like, there's so many parallels between Kindle and merch. People don't even realize it. Like, I think merch is like, you know how you were talking about regrets? Like, honestly, one of my biggest regrets, man, like, is not starting merch when it first started, because I think I still think it's an amazing opportunity to make a killing, but it's kind of like Kindle, where you've got to constantly be like feeding the machine, because there's so much competition. Like, you can make a book on, you know, whatever, fishing, and then there's like a million other fishing books, and then you have to try to rank and like get reviews. It's just like a battle to the death. It really is.
Make it sound like a medieval joust, man.
That's like phase 42. You know, if that was on my outline, that's a high up phase.
That's out there phase, man.
You got to do what you want to do, man. I mean, that's this one thing I want to mention, and I think saying, you know, hit the nail on the head. Like, you've got to do what you want to do. Like, there's so many options. Like, you have to be careful with what you choose and make sure it aligns with your passions and your life and everything. And it seems like you're doing what you enjoy, you know, and you're doing what you choose to do, not just because somebody said to do it, you know. That's cool, man.
To this day, do your parents still like remind you, like, get that stuff out of the living room?
I don't have anything in my living room, so it's just my room. So I can do whatever I want in my room.
Does your mom ever like open the door and peer in and go, clean your room, or no?
No, she doesn't say that, but she sometimes comes in like and has this expression. Okay, closes the door.
Is that why you just installed a deadbolt on your room? Big sign, do not enter. Hazmat.
Sometimes, like, I've cleared out my room for this interview, but sometimes the shoes stack up to like the guitar that you see in the back. If you see it, like there, like up to here.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
like you have to like walk around to get to bed.
Man, this dude like wakes up in like Kobe's and Jordan's like all over himself. He's like, oh, this is the life right here. 24 making 10K a month or more. That's good, man. It's pretty impressive, and it's gonna be a show that everyone's gonna remember. So yeah, there's some questions saying, "Hey, Sang, how can we connect further with you?" Would you say that's if you're in the green room, Sang, you know his name. If you are not in the green room and they want to connect with you, is the best way to do it through the blog?
I only launched my blog like 2 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure no one actually reads except for green room member.
Hopefully we change
I bet
that,
you after
though,
this
man.
show it's going to change. Yeah, there'll be people. But
So yeah.
if they want to connect with you, can they connect with you on the blog?
Yep, in the blog. If they write a post, then I'll most definitely comment back. And also Facebook and Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram as well. So
What's your Instagram handle?
Sang M Sun. So SANG Sun.
Send it to me after. I'll link it up in the description for folks to follow you.
Okay.
So if people go to your
Sounds
Instagram, are they going to get like a bazillion pictures of a room with just like shoes everywhere? Or are they going to get like what kind of pictures are they going to be greeted with?
The car with bunch of shoes.
Okay.
The picture that I posted on Green Room, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Among other pictures, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Are you trying to work on getting ungated in any other categories right now? Yes or no?
Like the category wise, I'm ungated on all categories such as shoes, beauty, grocery, even sexual wellness, in every category. Not DVD.
What about baby and auto and all that? Yeah,
I'm
all that.
ungated, yeah.
Wow.
But
Jeez.
I want to get ungated into brands, like the ones that I can't sell. But
Okay.
I don't know if anyone was I saw a few people on Green Room that got ungated, so I want to do that.
How to do that.
Mhm.
What's your view on paying to get ungated? How does that make you feel?
Nah. I
You don't
don't
like that
know.
feeling?
So how do you do it, man? Because there's so many people who are just like they're not maybe technical or they're not good at following detailed instructions. Let's just be real. Like, what advice would you have for them?
The advice that I would give is just I don't mean to like be like blunt, but just to follow the policies. So like 3 invoices or certificate with the invoice or anything like that, or like the FBA thing with the business license, things like that. So just follow the policy. It's not that difficult to do. So yeah.
So just go by the policies, just step by step, and just make sure that all the bases are covered before you go and apply.
Oh, one thing that I want to mention is they will most likely decline you the first time you try, but you just ask them continuously that you want to get ungated. I have everything in set with the policy, and then you constantly have conversation with them.
Just
And,
lurk.
yeah,
Continue lurking.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what's interesting about this show real quick is we have 288 people watching right now. We have 123 upvotes, 6 downvotes. So saying people love this show. But what I want to see 200 likes on this video, guys. Go ahead and take 1 second out of your day and just reward us with that like. It is semi-important. It's great for analytics, helps us out, and it always brings us back every Wednesday with some really good content on the Green Room Hangouts. I think, I got a question for you saying, so last month you make 10 grand, or you bring home 10 grand, maybe another month you bring home 6 or 3 or whatever. What do you do with this money, right? I mean, we're Asian, right? And we want to save it, but we also are very smart in like reinvesting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you reinvest it, how do you reinvest it? If you decide to save it, are you saving all of it? And my last question is, do you treat yourself? Do you maybe keep a pair of kicks every now and then?
Yes, I do. That's why I love shoes.
Okay, so you do keep a pair of kicks every now and then. What do you do with the rest of the money, man?
I try to reinvest most of my earned money back into business, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I am in the process of building enough capital to invest into index fund, something that Steve and I talked about on Christmas party. Other than that, I treat myself. I bought this MacBook like this Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good investment.
Yeah. So things like that, like it is a business.
That's a business write-off. I was gonna say.
You enjoy it, things like that, like shoes. Like I buy for business. Yeah, things like that.
And then you keep one.
Didn't you say when we were talking you had read Money Master the Game, right?
Yes, I did, yes.
By Tony Robbins. Did you read his new book, Unshakable?
Not yet, but I heard that it's just short version of Money Master.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was getting ready to purchase it. Just because Money Master the Game is such a long book. Like it's huge.
Yeah,
like it's a really yeah. So anyways, very, very cool, man. Keep us posted with your investing in the green room for sure. What else we got, Chris?
The good thing is we actually went through the outline, which is pretty amazing.
Wow,
There's no
that's a
phase
first.
3. I was looking for phase 3 because I wanted to like
where's
switch it
phase
up and
3?
start evolving, but
Crap,
I can't
I
evolve
forgot
anymore.
phase 3.
Like the phases are done, dude. So, but yeah,
Let's hit him with
we'll get some questions in the feed, and Raiken, go ahead.
Yeah. Q&A is phase 3, man. I just forgot to write it.
Sure you did.
Let's get some questions and see what folks have for questions. Again, guys, if you were just coming in, tonight's show was about the journey to $23,000, which was last month's sales and beyond. We talked a lot about outlets, shoes in particular. If you guys are wondering, his big inventory source is shoes. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask away. And thanks for all the likes.
Right here. Yeah, 167 likes. We're still like 100 away. Actually, no, we're like 30 away. Anyway,
you got to give something away, man, and then they'll hit it. Anything?
Sang will drive to their house and drop off a bunch of shoes in their driveway. That's what that's the goal.
If they agree to pack it for me.
Oh, there we go.
Oh wow,
Smart.
he's thinking like a businessman. So Axel Rosa says, "Hey, are these shoes in original boxes or not? Because when I go to an outlet mall, they're in original boxes, but sometimes they're all bent up, effed up, half boxes. Right? Do you ever send in half boxes ever?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What's your view on a customer perspective if they get a half box? Do you disclose this maybe in a description, like this is a half box in a poly bag kind of thing, or what?
I did in the past but Amazon changed the policy where you can't write anything for new items.
Okay.
So you can't write description for new items. So I did in the past, but now I don't. Yeah, I don't write anything.
So does that kind of you're still okay with doing the half box thing and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. I've sent him a lot of half boxes, and they have similar return rates than the regular boxes, so I don't mind.
Suppose you buy a shoe from Marshalls, something that doesn't have a box. Do you have a certain dimension of box that you order religiously, like all the time you have it in stock? Is it a 10 by,
I don't send in shoes that doesn't have box.
Okay, so you're only sending in shoes that have boxes. That's good. Okay, cool. So that answers that question right there. Kakoa. Wow, very hard name to say, so I'm not going to say it. But does he specifically do retail or retail ARB, or do you do online ARB as well? Is there a way to do maybe the shoe thing on an online sense where you don't even have to physically go to these stores?
Yes, I don't do it as often as I should. I really should, but I can get such a great return on investment when I do retail arbitrage that I don't do it as often, because online you can't have that kind of leeway into having like coupon stacking or like discount stacking as well. In retail arbitrage, they like let you go. You can't do that in online.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's more controlled than it's
yeah.
electronically done. Okay.
Yeah.
Question: do you use a scanner? Yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What scanner do you use? The KDP thing, or what do you use?
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
KDC200i, I believe.
KDC200i, is that the one?
Yes.
Right. Okay. You another question right here. I'm trying to blast as many questions as I can. These are all done FBA. Yup. What kind of shoes are you selling? This is from Oreo Kid, straight from Canada. But what kind of shoes are these? Primarily athletic, basketball, football. What kind? What tennis? Like, what are they?
All types of shoes, but
all types. Okay.
Most likely, I do well with athletic shoes. It seems like they have the most discounts.
Okay. Do you have something that sticks out in your head? You're just like, oh my God, like that was a good shoe to flip. I bought it for something and I sold it for like 100 something. Does that ever come around? Like something that's just so outside of the bell curve that you
Yes.
remember it and you're like, ooh, that was a good one.
It was one particular shoe. I don't know the name of it, but it was on Adidas store and it was pure something, and the color was white.
Like a
But
Pure
then
Boost or something?
I think so, yeah. Pure
Okay.
Boost X or TR, something like
Okay.
that. But then with all the discount, I was able to get it for $25.
Okay.
And there were no FBA seller, and the retail price was $120. So I just posted at $130, but
Yeah.
then my repricer changed the price to $170, but then it got sold.
Wait, wow. How, does that mean it repriced it because someone came in the market like a really high price and then you followed up with it, or
I
what?
have no idea.
So was that just one pair of shoes or like a series of shoes?
That happened like 2 times for that particular shoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you only had 2 in inventory, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Wow. That's pretty good though. That's good. Like those little outliers and you get to see it on your daily,
So, like when I went back to Adidas,
Yeah.
I was looking for that particular shoe like crazy. Like, do you have the shoe? Do you have the shoe? And then none
That's
of them had the
hilarious.
shoe.
You do what every hustler does. As soon as you get this like monster freaking like home run, you start thinking, give me more of that.
Skillet.
He's a drug addict, dude. He's like, I gotta have more. Oh, that's great. Okay, so what about baby shoes? Do you sell them?
Not the infant shoes, but kids shoes I do.
Okay, kids
Nice.
shoes. Okay. Raiken put a link to our free 100 amazing items to resell guide in there. Is that the revamped one now, Raiken? Is that officially the revamped?
Yes, we remodeled.
Okay.
If that's the right word to use. We
It's been
unified.
it's been rephased.
Yeah, it's phased like
It's phased like you would
100.
believe. So yeah, it's the free book. It's a PDF. Put it in your phone. It'll help you find things that are not shoes, right? But there are some shoes in there. But it's a lot of like thrifty garage sale type stuff. You can make money on that. Couple more questions here. Where do you reside? What state and everything? By
New
the way,
York.
maybe we didn't do this in the beginning of the show, and that's probably my fault. But where do you live?
New York.
New York. Wow. Oh
Rockland
man, that's like
County.
shoe release capital of the world, isn't it? Do you ever like wait in line for like really crazy shoes?
I don't know.
So you're not that much of a shoe junkie.
That was a question someone asked.
I only buy shoes that are high in demand, so I could sell real quick.
Okay.
So, like the new released ones, they don't have high demand right now on Amazon. So I don't do too much for that particular types of shoes.
Okay. So while we're on this shoe topic, I'll put this out there because it's probably going to be blasted to like thousands of people in the next coming days. But if you are out there and you're using bots, waiting in line, or new release type shoes and Yeezys and all that kind of amazing stuff, I want you to be on one of our green room shows because that's like a whole different like shoe hustle in itself, and it's like super cool. But I do want to have you on the show. So please, if you know someone, even if it's a friend and they do this and this is how they make a living or a substantial part of their living, I want to have you on the show because I think it would be fascinating to like dissect how this stuff is all done. Because apparently it's really, really hard to get your name on some of this new release stuff. But there are a lot of people that are straight up hustlers that can do it. And it's not that I want to do it myself and figure it out. I want to know the story, right? So it's always, just like you said, it's always good to be exposed to all these different ways to make money, and then you gravitate towards what you think you can handle with your happiness and your no regret kind of lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So outside of wholesale and private label and what you're doing now, is there anything else that you kind of like are kind of interested in the horizon?
Not so much. Like back when I started like reselling, like in the beginning phase, like thrifting books and stuff like that, I eventually wanted to do like consulting, but then no, because I had bad experiences with other consulting experts and internet marketers. Yeah, I don't want to go that route. So
Okay.
like now, maybe just e-commerce. Yeah, that's
Okay.
my focus right now.
Cool. I think that's pretty much the show, Raiken. Amazing show. Yeah, saying thank you so much for being on here.
No
Yeah,
problem. Thank you
appreciate
very
it,
much.
man.
Thank you very much for
A little
being
bit.
here.
Oh, you're 100% welcome. And you know, when you get into your next stage, which might be hiring people, or maybe you're going to get that office space like you said you were, you know, let's get you back on the show. But I do thank you for your time here. A little bit of housekeeping next week. We have our good old friend Glenn Zubia, who's going to be on a show, and we're going to talk some pretty cool stuff, including his meeting Gary Vee himself, by the way, which is going to be amazing. So we're going to dissect that. Yes, you can watch his vlogs and all that, but it doesn't do justice until you can get him to really tell you how the experience was, like straight up right here on the interview. So we're going to get that done, plus his hustle on merch and Ross and Marshalls. So that's coming next week on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Green Room meetup is pretty much, you know, we're really close to getting that hotel room thing sold out. So pay attention to the room tomorrow. I'll put a post to get the rest of the hotel. Hopefully, I think it's booked out. Someone tried to call in the other day and the green room code doesn't work anymore. So maybe that's exhausted. I don't know. But we'll look into that. But outside of that, we got a meetup coming up. Sang, are you going to come to the green room meetup this year? Are you coming?
Yes, I am.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
Raiken, we have to make this
Ghost
thing like
represent.
extra special because now Sang's coming.
I know, right? We're gonna have to wear some cool shoes to compete with
I'm
him.
telling you, we're so screwed. I'm gonna try to go to the outlet malls before he gets into town. So I'm gonna get something that's just like slightly bigger than a Jeep Patriot, just to kind of like get to him a little bit. No, but like the Green Room meetup is a lot of fun. We joke about it, but it is one of those places where resellers that do all kinds of stuff, eBay, Craigslist, local stuff, offer up, you know, even people that are like into flea markets and wholesale and private label, they're all just going to get together. We talk shop. We have a big event on a Saturday night, which is a 6-hour-long event this year. It's booked. It's awesome. It's going to be on a ranch. It's going to be super cool. We also have these little micro kind of events. Plus, we have Green Room Seminar, which is going to be pretty interesting. That's going down Thursday evening. But anyway, if you're in the Green Room, look for my post tomorrow, and we'll might engage into another room block with the Lone Star Court, which is a phenomenal hotel in town that we have a majority of the members are going to stay at it. So anyways, that's pretty much housekeeping. Raiken, the show was amazing. Sang, thank you for being here. Please don't lurk anymore in my room and start talking.
I started doing it.
I know. I saw you. But Raiken, I'm good, man. You can close it out.
Yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to give us a like and show some support for, you know, for these videos. There's a lot of people out there who are looking to just get started, and you know, maybe they're trying to scale, and you know, it's important to like these videos and comment. It helps to get them out to more people. So definitely appreciate that. If you haven't gotten our free book, 100 Amazing Items to Resell, be sure to get that. That will opt you onto our email list with tons and tons of free content. It's not very spammy. There's a couple marketing pitches, obviously, because we want to get you in the green room, but it's not spammy at all. It's mostly just free, good content that's going to help you out. So be sure to check that out. But with that being said, thanks for watching, everybody. Saying thanks for coming on, man. You did awesome. I told you, man, you were going to knock it out the park.
I was so nervous. I'm still nervous.
You're making me nervous, man. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next Green Room show next Wednesday on the Bonafide Hustlers channel. Check out his blog. It's down below. Links in the description. And have a good night. Peace.
Bye.